Boom, shaka, laka, boom. You have tuned in to the infamous, to the world famous, to the often imitated, never duplicated, most incendiary show on the radio. To your daily dose of reality radio. That means real life. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I am Clay Edwards, and I am, by no lack of effort, live here on 103.9 FM WYAB, or as I like to call it, home. We are powered by Live Better Men's Health and Wellness, and that testosterone replacement therapy services that they provide. I have prepared a statement about my future here at WYAB after the shenanigans that took place here yesterday. After a long conversation with my family, with my Lord and Savior, and with the station management, we have prepared a statement. By we, I mean I have prepared a statement. You know, before that, I would like to thank anybody and everybody who's ever listened to this radio show, anybody and everybody who has ever supported me, bought a T-shirt from me at buyfafo.com. There are shirts in stock right now, like the one I'm wearing. Every sponsor that we've ever had on this show, past tense, present tense, I don't want to start naming them all, but we will at one point in time or another. I appreciate everybody. You start naming, you start forgetting, right? So I just want to get that out of the way. I want to thank the station management for the opportunity to do this for 1,200, and today would be 28 episodes. For over 5 years, I've got the honor of coming and sitting in this chair, talking into this microphone, twisting these knobs, making all the right people mad, and putting smiles on faces, letting other folks know that you are not alone out there in thinking the way you think. Your eyes are not playing tricks on you. There is an attack on people like you, people like me. We've been told, shut up, a black woman's talking. We've been knocked down a peg or two or three or four or five over the last several years, going back to about 2008, if I had to draw a hard line in the sand to when it all began. We've been told that we're the minority. We can shut up. We've been called racists, bigots, homophobes, transphobes, all of those things. And to that I will quote Eminem. I am whatever you say I am. If I wasn't, then why would I give a damn? Here's my statement. Yesterday, a small group of people showed up here at the radio station to protest the Clay Edwards Show. They claim I do hate speech, whatever that means. They stood outside with their little signs demanding that I be fired from this show that I built from the ground up. They want me gone. They want this microphone right here, turned off, taken away, padlocked. And you know what? It doesn't surprise me one bit. Because for years, I've said the things on this radio show that a lot of people don't want to hear. I've called out the culture rot in this city, or as they like to call it, we got to get to the root cause. Oh, we know what the root cause is. Culture rot. I've called out everybody. I've talked about the breakdown of the nuclear family. I've talked about crime, fatherlessness, the fatherless, and the glorification of violence and degeneracy. I've handed out FAFO championships to people who earned them, deserved them, and some didn't even see them coming. I've defended the police when nobody else would. I've talked about testosterone, masculinity, toxic femininity, and personal responsibility and taking accountability by looking at the man in the mirror. And I did that yesterday. I looked long and hard at that man in the mirror, Clay Edwards, Clayton Arthur Edwards. Make sure you spell it right. Had a long talk with myself. I've spoken out against the LGBTQ agenda. We even came up with a new name for them so we could circumvent the censors online. We call it the rainbow supremacy. Since they like to call everybody a white supremacist, an American supremacist. I mean, hell, I love the American supremacist. Doesn't that sound great? I am proudly an American supremacist, and you should be too. Doesn't matter if you're white, black, brown, gay, straight, trans, well, maybe not the T's, but hey, whatever. You know, you too should be an American supremacist. And I've done it all without a single apology. Will today be the day that I apologize? Stay tuned. I've made a lot of people uncomfortable. I've made some people angry. And apparently I've made a few of them mad enough to drive out here, stand in a parking lot, and throw a hissy fit, a minstrel show. That's really what it was out here yesterday. It was a minstrel show, a pride parade of sorts, and try to get me fired. So let me be real clear this morning. I'm sure y'all could tell where this is going. To every single person I've offended on this show, on my social media, or anywhere else, to the people who think I talk too much about culture, crime, politics, black folks, gay folks, white folks, Mexican folks, and any other folks that don't like the words coming out of my mouth. Maybe I talk too much about crime. Maybe I talk too much about politics. Maybe I talk too much about culture rot. Maybe I'm too blunt, too loud, too unfiltered, too uneducated. To the ones who would rather see me go sit out in the middle of Highway 49 and get ran over by a Mack truck than hear me speak another word on this microphone this morning. Well, I would rather go out there on Highway 49, sit down, and be hit by a Mack truck before I apologize to absolutely anyone. I am not sorry for the things I've said. I am not sorry for the topics I've covered. I am damn sure not sorry for refusing to play along with the nonsense that's destroying this city, this country, and frankly, the rest of this world. If telling the truth makes me a target, then so be it. I'd rather be a target than a coward any day. I'd rather be jobless than jobbed, than be a coward and bend the knee to any of y'all any day. You can protest. You can write letters. You can try to get me fired. You can do live streams. You can talk about your Bible, your Johns, your Pauls. But if you keep effing around with Clay Edwards, you're going to learn about FAFO 316. I built this. I earned it, and I'm not going anywhere. Book it. We'll be right back. This is the Clay Edwards Show. 1039 WYB. Today, tomorrow, and forever. I ain't going anywhere. Necessary. I think that says it all, doesn't it? Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. 1039 WYAB. Do an ad read here real quick. For calling it an ad read's a bit of an insult. I want to start by giving a shout out to my day one sponsor, somebody that has stuck through me through thick and thin. There would not be a Clay Edwards show. So I guess y'all can blame them. If it wasn't for Jason Anderson over at Lakeland Glass and Tent agreeing before I ever spoke into this microphone that he would sponsor this show and support me. And he has been here for all 1,228 episodes. 1,228 episodes. Lakeland Glass and Tent has stood by my side through thick and thin. I want to thank Jason and his team. It ain't always easy, but it pays for itself in the long run because WYAB listeners, y'all support these partners on these shows. Winning if you can. So if you need windshield, you need automotive glass, if you need tint on your home, car, or business, you need your vehicle wrapped, you need paint protection film, you want to get a custom design wallpaper in your business or home with a photo or design of anything on it you want, they can do all that. They can turn your vehicle into a rolling billboard, ceramic coating, everything. LakelandGlassandTent.com. They did 2 windshields for me last week. Great folks. They keep the money local. They hire local. Good people. I want to thank them. The Mazda Jackson live stream. My goodness. I think we might have a record this morning for folks watching it. We got thousands of people tuned in across all the different platforms. Thank y'all for tuning in this morning. I will apologize to one group of people, to the people who tuned in because they thought today was going to be my last day. Sorry, not sorry. I want to thank everybody for all the text messages across the Ellis Autoplex text line this morning. Shout out to Casey Ellis and his team over there. You can text the show at 769-241-1944. 769-241-1944 if you want to text something anonymously or giving me your name. Shout out to Mississippi State great quarterback, legend, Hall of Famer. If he's not in the Hall of Fame over there, he should be. He's a Hall of Famer in my book. John Bond, for the kind words this morning. If you had told me 5 years ago that John Bond would be sending me text messages telling me good job, man, I'd have called you a liar, but I would have hoped you were right. How cool is that, man? Shout out to John. And we will read some more texts and stuff throughout the day, but this ain't about me. This is about y'all. This is about entertainment. I am convinced that you guys tune into the Clay Edwards Show to hear me talk about the news, to hear me mock and meme these idiots until they cry and then mock them and meme them some more, to give out FAFO Championships. So why don't we do an FAFO Championship right now? Right now. We got an interesting one here. This fella right here, Justin Fowler. You know, it's funny that he's wearing, if you're watching on the Mazda Jackson live stream, he's wearing a prison jumpsuit. It's got the black and white stripes, but they're going side to side instead of up and down. What's that called? Parallel instead of vertical? Because one time he went over there with the whistleblowers to the Rankin County Sheriff's Department. They stood in the lobby and they made a whole video in their matching outfits about Justin Fowler being done wrong by the Rankin County Sheriff's Department. Well, we ain't talked about Justin in a while, but, you know, Justin is one of the people I've had to press stalking charges on in the past because there is a line and he crossed it. You know, we won't get into the details now, but he crossed it. He crossed it enough so that a judge said, yep, that is stalking. You know, contrary to popular belief, I don't have a direct line to any judge or government officials here where I can just say, hey, get this done. And also contrary to the slander I heard out there yesterday, I am not paid by the government. I wish I was, But I get a little letter every month from them telling me I owe them money. So safe to say I'm not being paid by them. If I am, they're keeping the check. But old Justin here is our brand new effed around and found out grand champion. What did Justin do for those out there that aren't familiar? Well, Justin got arrested for aggravated domestic violence and had 10 years suspended on a sentence. And then I believe he may have failed a drug test or something along those lines, and he had to go do 20 days in jail. 20 days. Well, he couldn't make it the 20 days without getting himself in trouble. We're going to go over to thejacksonjambalaya.com. Kingfish did some great work. You can go watch the whole video of this hearing over at jacksonjambalaya.com, because now he went from doing 20 days to 5 years because he just couldn't wait a few more days to get out and get what he had snuck in. You can't make this up. You really can't. And I saw yesterday where somebody said I got called out because I had not covered the other part of this story about the attorney. Why ain't Clay covered the attorney that snuck the contraband in? Well, consider it covered. Kingfish writes, trouble seems to follow Justin Fowler and those around him. Rankin County Circuit Judge Dewey Arthur. Dewey don't play. Dewey does not play. I'll tell y'all a Dewey Arthur story at the end of this. Dewey Arthur revoked his probation and sent him to prison for 5 years after his attorney, Judy Barnett, and her son, after a police report alleged they smuggled contraband to him in the Rankin County Jail. Now, full disclosure, I have met Judy Barnett once before. Judy Barnett was very, very nice to me, treated me very respectfully, and I treat people in kind the way they treat me. I ain't got no problem with Judy Barnett. She's innocent until proven guilty. Judy ain't getting an FAFO Championship today. If Judy gets found guilty, we'll reconsider. But I ain't got no beef with Judy. Continuing on. Rankin County deputies arrested Fowler in October of 2024 for threatening. And he did. He's an absolute idiot for threatening Rankin County prosecutor Trey Spillman. The grand jury indicted him in February 2025 for retaliation against a public servant, the indictment states. Sorry, so I said something about domestic violence. I think they got him for that too. Anyway, the indictment says, on or around October 1st, 2024, in the county aforesaid and within the jurisdiction of this court, did willfully, unlawfully, and feloniously, intentionally, or knowingly threaten to harm County Prosecutor Trey Spillman by an unlawful act, to wit. Defendant sent threatening emails to Prosecutor Spillman in retaliation for actions taken lawfully by the prosecutor. Spillman, who is a public servant acting within the scope of his duty, and the Rankin County Justice Court. So here's where the domestic violence comes in. Spillman, and all these guys love their domestic violence, don't they? Spillman prosecuted on 2 domestic violence cases prior to the arrest. Fowler sent threatening emails to the county prosecutor. Fowler pleaded guilty in May of 2025. Rankin County Judge Dewey Arthur sentenced Fowler to 10 years in prison, but suspended 9 years and 358 days of the sentence and gave him credit for time served in jail. However, because he's a habitual F-up, Fowler could not stay out of trouble for even a year. Even a year. MDOC asked the court to revoke Fowler's probation on May 7th, 2026, after he tested positive for cocaine and marijuana. The court revoked Fowler's probation for 20 days. However, the fun was just beginning, according to Kingfish. Attorney Judy Barnett represents Fowler. The attorney and her son, Winston Sykes, visited Fowler in the room reserved for attorneys at the Rankin County Detention Center on May 30th. Young Sykes just graduated from law school. So now you got, this is just me talking here, so now you got Judy Barnett and her son, who just graduated law school, potentially losing their ability to practice law over this. If true, you got to ask why. What about this guy made you risk it all? Allegedly, of course. Attorney Barnett represented Fowler. The attorney and her son, Winston Sykes, visited. Oh, I just read that part. I'm sorry. So anyway, Rankin County deputies accused Barnett and Sykes of smuggling contraband to Fowler during the visit. MDOC's petition included a Rankin County Sheriff's Office police report that stated, and we're going to read this and then we're going to just give you my thoughts and opinions on this, but I just want to lay this out there so y'all understand exactly what happened here. It says, on or about May 20th, investigator Willard Holyfield met with Rankin County Jail staff and administration concerning an attorney and guest meeting with Justin Fowler in the interview room. They then gave him a vape to use and other items under the table of the interview room. The other item that was given to him by the female visitor, which would be Judy, was placed in his mouth and in his sock. Fowler used the vape twice in the room. The incident was captured on the jail camera. Fowler was given a urine screening where he was positive on the other substances that were not originally in his system at the time of intake. The two visitors were identified as Mary Judith, there's a typo here, as Mary Judith Barnett and Winston Sykes. This is an ongoing investigation. So, deputies did not charge Barnett or her son. They charged Fowler with introducing contraband and other drugs into a correctional facility. Since Fowler was charged with a new felony, MDOC again asked the courts to revoke Fowler's probation. And justice was swift indeed at the Rankin County Courthouse as Judge Arthur held a hearing a week later. Judge Arthur opened the hearing stating Barnett no longer represented Fowler due to a conflict of interest and appointed public defender Ephraim Sellers to represent Fowler. And Ephraim Sellers is a beast. I'm just saying this unrelated. If you need a public defender, you better hope you get Ephraim Sellers. He does not play. You're almost better off getting Ephraim Sellers than you are about 90% of these criminal defense attorneys around here you got to pay for. He is a hell of an attorney. So, let's see here. It says a Rankin County investigator, Holyfield, testified he watched the video of Fowler and his lawyer in the meeting room. Barnett looked around as if she were looking for cameras. The room has cameras, but they are hidden, although they do not record sound to protect attorney-client privilege. Here, long story short, and we're going to move on, he effed around and found out. Is exactly what happened. And if you go back and watch the video on Kingfish's website of the hearing, it's about 20, 25 minutes long, I think. It's worth every second of it. This guy, he had to snitch on his attorney, or he was getting 10 years. They said he cooperated. So instead of 10 years with a full revoking of the probation or parole or whatever it was he was technically on, the suspended sentence, they only gave him 5 years. So I want y'all to think about this morning. This guy sacrificed his freedom to hit a gosh dang vape pen in jail. Now, I know some of y'all have called me an addict and this, that, and the other for whatever reason. But I'm going to tell you what, there ain't no substance known to man, no female known to man, that I'm a couple days away from getting out of jail And if my option is avoid it and get out of jail in 10 days, 15 days, however much he had left of that 20-day run, or 10 years, 5 years in jail because I just can't say nope to that dope. Allegedly, of course. Well, he ain't allegedly. He did it. He admitted to it. How he got it technically is still allegedly because they ain't been charged yet or found guilty. I digress. This dude's just slow. Now, I know a lot about this guy because, of course, when you have to file charges on somebody for stalking you, you tend to find out a lot about them. You know, I've seen videos of the domestic violence. I've heard horror stories of him continuing, not horror, I've seen videos of him continuing to harass and stalk his child's mother's new boyfriend, even showing up to where he works, unprovoked. Just a nut job, an absolute nut job. So, of course, he's a nut job. He runs around wearing a Foot Locker jersey with the other clowns and goes and films videos at the sheriff's department. Nobody in their right state of mind does these things. Kudos to Rankin County for getting this one right. It's a damn shame that people can't do their jobs like Trey Spillman, the prosecuting attorney out there, or attorney, whatever his technical title is, county attorney, without having to deal with nut jobs like this, who run around, they feel entitled because they ain't never had to pay no real consequences or repercussions for their actions, and they just continue to get away with it and continue to get away with it and continue to get away with it. We need to be transitioning, not that kind, Democrats, but you ain't going to like this one either. We need to be transitioning into the accountability era in America, into the find out area in America. Let's take a break real quick. This is the Clay Edwards Show. If you like the shirt I'm wearing, FAFO 316, it is available online now, all sizes, up to 3X, by FAFO.com. Other items also available. Help support your boy. You never know, man. We just one show away from being canceled. One protest away from being canceled around here. No, I'm kidding. But hey, still, support your boy. Buy FAFO 316. We'll be right back on the Clay Edwards Show here on 103.9 WYAB. Like I said before, we ain't going nowhere. Today's 1,228 episodes. Tomorrow will be 1,229. June 13th of last year, we celebrated the 1,000th episode of this thing. Clay 1K. We're moving up for Clay 2K. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back in to the most incendiary show on the RADIO, where we apologize to absolutely nobody. It's all gas. It's all brakes. It's all FAFO. If you didn't like me before, you're definitely not going to like the new and improved, never changed Clay Edwards. It's amazing what a day off will do for you. So just to clear one thing up that I didn't mention in the first segment, because I've seen some things online. Oh, look at that. Clay took off. Clay took off because he knew the protest was coming. Clay was scheduled to be off 2 months ago on this day. Unlike some of them, I actually have a partner of the opposite sex, a girlfriend. She likes Shinedown. I bought her Shinedown tickets. We went and saw them in Biloxi. It's called a concert. I know y'all live, eat, and breathe all of this stuff, and it's all you think about 24/7. You forgot what living life is like, having a good time, touching grass, getting out amongst people, having a cold beer, cocktail, whatever. Now y'all forgotten what all that feels like to go somewhere and just shut it off for a little bit. But that's what we did. And what was funny is I watched some of that video when we got home last night after covering the Simpson County double homicide, which we're going to talk about here some. And, what was it? Oh, they're out there protesting. And apparently they don't even listen to the show, which is just the best. They're protesting to get me fired over hate speech. And shout out to Angela Buckner with the Mike magazine. She's like, well, what does he say that y'all don't like? And they couldn't even come up with anything except I've been going after these people online and calling them out for their lies and misinformation and just all their nonsense. And they keep accusing me of running some fake profiles that I do not run. Why would I run fake profiles when I say the things I say from my personal page? Like, you people are nobodies. The fact that I'm even talking about you now, you should be paying me for. But anyway, so they're doing all this protesting. And they weren't even listening to the show. They didn't even know I wasn't here. One of them ended up, the little ringleader, the fat boy from up in Panola County, did a long post on Facebook last night saying he's deleting all of his social media. Now, he's blaming it on his lawyer, saying his lawyer told him to delete all his social media, but we know what happened. He was so embarrassed and humiliated that the only people that showed up for their little protest was the 6 people who organized the protest. And they realized how stupid they looked. And I've seen some of the comments. Shout out to the supporters out there who told them what idiots they were. I think he finally had a real conversation with himself. He actually took some accountability and said, you know what, there's no coming back from this. I'm just going to have to delete my social media. Now, he did it in a grand fashion, went and told everybody, went and posted in every group he could find. And I know these things because people send me screenshots. I don't go search this out. He has me blocked, apparently. Anyway, I just got a big chuckle out of that. I told y'all Monday when I was here that we weren't going to be here Tuesday. I told anybody that would listen, I can't believe they scheduled it for Wednesday. I'm off. They scheduled it for Tuesday. I'm off Tuesday. No, Wednesday. I'm sorry, Wednesday. They scheduled it for Wednesday. I told y'all Monday and Tuesday I wasn't going to be here Wednesday. I'll get it right. It's been one of those weeks. So they don't listen to the show. They didn't know I wasn't here until the dang show was almost over. It's just funny. It's just funny. A bunch of nincompoops. A nincompoop. I want to acknowledge a couple folks on the Mazda Jackson live stream for some super chats real quick. I saw, let me scroll. Man, there's a bunch of comments here. You guys are on fire today, man. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much. My brother stickered. Justin joined the Platinum. You can too. Become a Platinum member over at the Save Jackson on my YouTube channel. Just the best way you can support me. If you like what I do, support what I do. Beyond just listening, which that's fine too. We take that too. Also, my same guy gave me a $4.20 super chat. He likes that $4.20. I ain't got no problem with it. So I wanted to acknowledge Justin there real quick. And we got 2 hours this morning, man. We're going to read some of your super chats and not super chats. I'm sorry, but we're going to read some of your messages and some of your text messages on the Ellis Autoplex text line. That number is 769-241-1944. Let's talk about this Simpson County thing real quick. What a tragedy. Culture rot hits Simpson County. Hold on, before that, I got to give big condolences this morning to Price Wallace and his family. Price, state rep from Simpson County. He died very unexpectedly yesterday. Had a heart attack, apparently went home to take a nap and didn't wake back up, man. Price is a good dude. Legitimately one of the good guys down there under the dome. Now, Price, he did a couple things I didn't 100% agree with politically, with some votes or no votes or whatever, but none of that matters. This is real life. None of that matters. Price was always good to me. We broke bread. He did business with me when I had my ceramic coating. When I was over at Ellis Autoplex, when we first kind of merged, he was one of my first customers that came over there and let us do his ceramic coating on his truck for him. So I really appreciated him trusting us and breaking bread with us to let us. That's not a cheap thing to get done, ceramic coating. So appreciate Price Wallace, man. He'll be in our prayers. His family will be in our prayers. His friends. I know my friend Fred Shanks was very close with Price. He's pretty beat up over this. I did extend an opportunity to come on the show and tell some memories, and he just, and I'm not saying this, put his business out there, but he's just really emotional right now about losing Price. But that is a standing invitation. Maybe we'll do that next week after the funeral. Maybe we'll reach out to some of Price's colleagues and let them come on and tell some stories about Price. Maybe we can put together a memorial show one day, because Price was a good guy that did a lot for people. And I just wanted to acknowledge Price. And Simpson County just took some hits yesterday, man. They really did. It was a really bad day for Simpson County. We're coming back up from the coast, and I get a text from a buddy of mine, one of my sources in law enforcement, and he said, hey, cop just got shot in Simpson County, and the initial report was, and keep in mind now, we report stuff in live time, and sometimes you're going to get some details wrong, and I hope people understand that's just how this works. Do you want information as it's breaking, or do you want to wait till it's all tied up in a nice little bow and presented with all the facts? Or are you an adult and you can understand that things are fluid and details may sometimes be wrong, but you're an adult, you understand that that's how breaking news in the moment works, right? We can all be adults here. It's not Clay trying to glorify stuff just for clicks and views. We are a breaking news site. And sometimes when news breaks, we get the details there's a little gray area with the details. I just want to make sure we understand that that's how that works sometimes. But I'm never post anything as this is stone cold facts, unless I know they're stone cold facts. So allegedly, initially we heard officer shot, officer down, 3 civilians hit, including an infant. Well, that's horrible. So, and I'm getting more information. We're coming in. We're between Hattiesburg and Simpson County at this point. And me and the girlfriend were like, well, why don't we go by and see what's going on, see how close we can get to the staging area and see if we can find out any details, I was like, you know what? I hadn't done that in years. Why don't we do that? We got our dog with us and all. And we get more details. We end up getting there to the staging area by Tony's truck stop there, or Tony's one stop. And long story short, then we thought there was 2 suspects. There was not but one. We initially thought it was a domestic incident gone wrong. That was me assuming when I heard they sent an officer over for a safety check, for a welfare check. And when the cop got there, I just assumed that maybe it was a husband or a male partner abusing the wife, something to that extent, and bam, goes to shooting the cops. That's just how all these things seem to work out. So that was kind of the narrative I was going with, was this was a domestic situation gone awry. And that it's rarely a B&E and stuff like that to get cops shot at. So, again, got that one wrong. But, hey, in the moment, you get stuff wrong. Well, come to find out, long story short, a black male, 17 years old, 5 damn vowels in his first name. It's always them, isn't it? But what's saying, it's not all of them, but it's always them. 5 vowels. I mean, it checks out death, taxes, and if you got 5 vowels in your first name, you have a propensity to go killing folks. We're going to pick this back up on the other side of the break. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. This is the Clay Edwards Show, 103.9 WYAB. Keep talking with y'all for a minute here. I kind of bumped up against the timer there. So, and I'll tell the radio people this when we come back. So anyway, we're driving back. We leave the scene. We're driving back and we see all the tools that the sheriff's department has access to in Rankin County, because Rankin County deploys all of their stuff out there. And long story short, black kid breaks in a damn house and kills 2 elderly white folks. Now, the race does not really matter, but I just always like to say, man, if it was the other way around, what the media and news would be. Racist white teen kills elderly black couple. It would be all that stuff. But, of course, you never get that when it's the other way around, do you? Nope. And some people got real mad at me last night because I made a post about praying for Simpson County. And I said, let's pray for the victims and their families. Let's pray for Price Wallace and his family. And let's also pray for the kid who did this. Let's pray for his mother. And here's why I said that. Because y'all know normally I'm like, throw her in jail too. And maybe I was wrong for saying this, but I said, but let's pray for her too. And it was because she went down there or was on the phone or whatever. I think she was there on site, according to my source. And she was on the phone with him trying to get him to come out of the house, trying to get him to surrender. You don't hear about that too often. So I was trying to say, hey, look, man, this woman tried. You know, she's all, and her son's about to get killed by these cops if he don't act right. But luckily for their family, he don't get killed. He gets shot and running across the field. But, you know, I can't win from losing. Y'all tell me I don't show no sympathy and empathy. And then I sit here and I finally try to be a little bit empathetic to the family of the bad guy. And I start getting these messages from people cussing me out, like, how dare you say pray for his family? I'm like, man, have you not been watching me for the last 6 years? You know, like, I never do that. But I was like, just one time, because she was trying to assist and assist with law enforcement instead of making excuses for the little terrorist she raised bad behavior. I was like, well, why don't we pray for her too? Some guy sent me a message cussing me out, telling me to take him out of my group. We're back live. All right, we're back live here on 103.9 WYAB. As I was saying during the break there with the online crowd on the Mazda Jackson live stream, so what ended up happening here was you had this 17-year-old black kid breaks in this house and kills this elderly white couple for absolutely no reason. No reason at all. Of course, we broke every detail of the story in front of every other news station in this state, thanks to good sources, you know, on the scene there. You know, we try to keep you all in front of it. You know, we try to be respectful as well, but there are people that listen to scanners. They get the information. It is what it is. It's sad. It was so unnecessary. 2 lives lost for absolutely no reason. You break in a house, a little B&E, that he probably wouldn't even been charged as an adult. And that B&E turns into capital murder, amongst other charges. And he gets himself shot. Now, and he better damn well be facing the death penalty. Bubba Bramlett, I love you, brother. Go after the death penalty on this one. Put that needle in his arm and let his family watch him die like he got to watch that family he killed die. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show, 103.9 WYAB. Of course, we're streaming worldwide over there on the interwebs at the Mazda Jackson live stream. You can find that if you want to tune in, partake in the live chat over there. It's a lively one this morning. We're at Save JXN on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Instagram. And you can find us at Clay Edwards Show on Twitch, Kick, and Rumble. Kind of your alternate streaming platforms over there. We're glad to be alive. We're glad to be here. We're glad to be powered by Live Better Men's Health and Wellness out in Gluckstadt. And we're glad to be fed and our bellies full by our good friends at a couple different places I'm going to tell you about real quick that offer plate lunches. How about McBee's over there in Ridgeland, right there on Lake Harbor? They've been there since 1982. You don't get to stick around for that dang long and your food not be good, your service not be great, and everybody not know your name like it's Cheers. They've been buzzing the res since 1982. I like that. Anyway, the Blue Plate special there today is spaghetti, red sauce spaghetti. And if that don't suit your fancy, how about hamburger steak, chicken breast, or country fried steak, hand-battered country fried steak? What else? How about Chip's Place? Beethoven's. Thursday, chicken and dressing, meatloaf, ribs, or I'm sorry, that was 2 days there. Today you got chicken and dressing and meatloaf. So if you're over in the Ridgeland area looking for some grub, there's 2 great spots for you. McBee's, and don't sleep on the burger at McBee's. I'm going to go on record and say I think it's one of, if not the best hamburger in the state of Mississippi. And I've had a lot of hamburgers. And we've had a lot of great restaurants here over the years on this show that have served great hamburgers. And I just don't think McBee's gets the love it deserves for the good hamburger there. It's all the same meat, but the wine burger, the Saturday morning burger, which is kind of like a hangover burger's got a fried egg on it. Chef's kiss. So good. Anyway, check them out today. McBee's. Then around the corner, you got Beethoven's right there next to Cock of the Walk with chicken and dressing or meatloaf. And I've had their meatloaf 2 out of the last 3 Thursdays. It is really good over there at Beethoven's. All right, let's get back into it, shall we? Thousands of messages on the Mazda Jackson live stream. I do not even know where to begin with those, but let's start over at the Ellis Autoplex text line. Of course, you can check out Ellis Autoplex at ellisautoplex.com. So let's see here. Oh, that number, by the way, if you want to text the show, 769-241-1944. Let's see here. Unknown texter asked, hey, Clay, missed the beginning of his show due to work. What was the big announcement? The big announcement is we ain't going nowhere. Contrary to popular belief, contrary to the amount of effort put into it by a couple of hate groups around here with ties to the Southern Poverty Law Center. That's right. These hate groups that are trying to get Clay Edwards kicked off the radio, off of our airwaves, they have ties to the Southern Poverty Law Center. The Southern Poverty Law Center has ties to the KKK and neo-Nazi organizations where they are allegedly funding those very organizations they vow to fight against. These same people that want Clay Edwards off the show are morally aligned with the Southern Poverty Law Center, with Black Lives Matter, with defund the police. Of course they want Clay Edwards off the radio because we stand up and we fight against all of those things. I would never, ever, ever have anybody sit across from me on this radio show. People ask me, Clay, why don't you just have them come on the show and y'all can debate? Because I would never platform anybody that stands for any of those things. We ain't got nothing to debate about. They're morally rotten. Morally rotten. Why would I have those people on this show? Ain't happening. Ain't happening. They can go build their own platforms, continue to protest amongst themselves. I want nothing to do with that. But yeah, we here. We ain't going nowhere. Let's read some more text, shall we? I like the text. Carl Ray says, glad you're back. Brother, I ain't going nowhere. I just took a day off. Went to go see a good concert, man. Unknown texter just text in. Says, stand your ground against those clowns. Got one main one that has beat women, and one has been to prison and was over a big gang when in prison. They aren't perfect, just a bunch of culture rot. Man, I don't even know who this is, but amen to you, brother. Amen to you. Unknown texter says, keep fighting. I'm a friend of one of your friends, and I listen to you daily. Keep speaking the truth, and let the cards fall as they may, but you will be the winner at the end of the hand for sure. A lot of people got your back, bro. Man, thank you, brother. Thank you. Unknown texter, first time ever, says, keep up the great work, Clay. So that last text I read was Eric, too, by the way. Thank you, Eric. I try not to read folks' last names. Unknown texter, tell it, brother. Unknown texter, See, I love a longer text, and because I like people who take the time to tell a little story. It says, yay, if you can somehow see my name, don't say it on air, please. I didn't. You're welcome. I'm one of many who can't share my honest opinions in my work environment. You had me really scared when I saw your Facebook post this morning. I can't imagine life without the Clay Edwards Show. Just because someone doesn't want to hear they're doing wrong doesn't mean they don't need to hear it. I think you are a valuable vessel in restoring Jackson to anything good it might ever be again. I'm really surprised it took them this long to protest, though, since that's their job. Give them hell. Yeah, you know, I was listening to some of the crap they had to say while they were out there, and I was just blown away at the fact that they were basically just saying, we don't like what he says and don't think he should be allowed to say it. And Miss Buckner with Mike Magazine said, well, then why do you, I think it was her that said it, then why listen? You have the choice to just not listen. And that's the thing about the deranged woke left. They can't ever defend their stance on any of this stuff. It's just because I said so, because I don't like it. I mean, they can't stand on no foundation of truth. Superior Foundation can't do nothing for their foundation because it's built on quicksand. They can't debate you. All they do is, oh, it's racism. Oh, it's hate speech. You don't get to determine that. Just because you hate it don't mean it's quote unquote hate speech. That's a made up phrase. That's like saying Planned Parenthood ain't murder. Wackadoos. Wackadoos. Unknown texter. Just left the office. Oh, that was from yesterday, so. Another one says, I love it. Never apologize or give up. And I promise, I'm not just reading the nice things here, by the way. You ain't got to agree with me to send me a text message. I will read your hate text, too. Unknown texter says, you forgot the NAACP. Yeah, the NAACP. They ACLU, NAACP, BLM, Southern Poverty Law Center. These people who were out here yesterday are all morally aligned with those people. Now, can I prove that they're connected at the hip? No, but that ain't what I said. I said they're morally aligned. Never forget, while they're out here screaming about all this racism, it's the Southern Poverty Law Center that was funding the KKK so they could have a bad guy to fight. You can't make it up, man. You can't make it up. There's so much I want to say. It really is, but this radio show ain't the place for it. Maybe the internet is. 'Cause I got some exposing I want to do too. And again, I just don't think the radio show is the place for it. And that's the other thing. They can't separate the radio show from my internet. But one thing I will absolutely positively say is if it don't come from the page that says Clay Edwards on it, it ain't Clay Edwards. I only post from pages that have my name on it. I don't manage another page. I don't have a fake profile. None of those things. I think, again, I keep harping on it, but the one thing that grinded my gears about all this stuff is they keep accusing me of running fake profiles to attack them. I do not fear any of these fools. Why would I run a fake profile to say stupid stuff about them? It just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make any sense. I do want to get this David Archie stuff here. This is a big story. You know, because I'm pretty sure David was one of the people who swore that elections couldn't be manipulated back in 2020. Pretty sure of that. 2021. But David has successfully proven that there were some shenanigans at minimum during his supervisor race in Hinds County a couple years ago now. And a special election has been granted in that case. I think we got just enough time to squeeze the video in and let y'all hear what WLBT has to say about it. Give me 2 seconds to set this up. I just want to say congratulations to David Archie. Welcome to understanding that things ain't always what they appear. And in fact, elections can be tampered with. Here we go. Oh, hold on. Here we go.
David Archie's 2023 Democratic primary challenge. That means those of you in District 2 will vote in a new special election. 3 on your sides. Teddy Reedy joins you live outside the courthouse to tell you the evidence that led to the judge's ruling. Teddy?
Hinds County Judge Barry Ford has ruled in favor of David Archie, saying critical pieces of voting information were missing in that election and that the election has been voided.
It has been more than 2 years since David Archie lost the Hinds County District 2 supervisor race to Tony Smith by roughly 1,600 votes. Today, a judge sided with Archie's claim that the election was too flawed to stand.
This victory is a victory for every voter in the state of Mississippi and every voter in Hinds County.
Judge Barry Ford ruled the 2023 Democratic primary cannot be certified. He stopped short of finding outright fraud, but he noted negligence in the handling of the election. At the center of the case, missing and unsealed ballot boxes, missing voter registration forms, missing ballot books, and missing tapes. And voting machines that could not be located. Archie's legal team argued the Hinds County Circuit Clerk could not account for the ballot boxes after the election, and that alone was enough.
The statute says, he's the custodian of that record. And if he doesn't have that record, then it can't be admissible in court. And therefore, if the judge can't review the ballot boxes, then how can we determine what the outcome of the election was?
Wilson called the missing materials a critical problem for the integrity of the race.
When you take it to the next level and you see ballot boxes that are misplaced or unsealed, let's put it that way, and ballot books that were missing, and tapes that were missing, and machines that we couldn't locate, and all the things that we heard at trial, that's very problematic.
Current Supervisor Tony Smith pushed back hard on the ruling. His defense argued throughout the trial that any alleged irregularities were not enough to overcome his 1,600 vote margin. Smith says he plans to run again.
I think that it's wrong. I think that it's been a case that we've proven ourselves. The people wanted a change, and they showed it. I think that if we're going to run again, and I think that they're going to not only beat them by 2-1, it's going to be beat by 3-1. The people.
All right, we're going to stop it there because we run out of time here. Kudos to David Archie. You just never know. Be careful who you beefing with because you never know who you may wake up next to tomorrow. And I would have never thought I'd be on the same team as David Archie on proving something. But kudos to David Archie because he got this one right. We'll be right back to land the plane for the day. All right, man. Let me get back over here. I know I was a little clunky there with that, but I wanted to get that in. That's a big story. If you had told me, of all damn places in America, that a Democrat-on-Democrat race in Jackson, Mississippi would have got overturned, or whatever you want to call it. I guess Smith is still the supervisor to the new election. That would happen here, that we would be able to prove, and I say they would be able to prove that here. I'd have called you crazy. But hey, that's where we're at, and that sets precedence, doesn't it? Sets precedence. It's going to be tomorrow's going to be a big Clay Edwards show. Today, I seriously think I'm going to take all the evidence I have against these people who had their asses out here yesterday. And it's time to start really calling some folks out. I think it really is. Then we're going to be done with it. Because I am still convinced that Like, I just feel I need to clean out their closet like they think they've done mine. I need to clean out their closet one good time. Because all the stuff that I have on them, and then we're never having this conversation again. Because you will never convince me that y'all tune in to watch me beef with other content creators. I don't enjoy it. It's a waste of damn time. But Mama didn't raise no punk either. And neither did my daddy. Because I actually know mine. So, no punk was raised. There's only so much you're going to do before I push back. That's the thing that chats my ass is these people push and push and push. And they do all this shit. And the second somebody like me pushes back, oh, it's harassment, it's death threats, it's all this other crap. It's protest, it's hate speech. Because like so many other people that they've bullied and intimidated and attacked, I didn't back down. You know, this ain't no knock against the guy that runs or girl that runs the Stir Stick media page that they keep accusing me of. I didn't go start a page to hide behind. And I'm not saying there is a need for that here and there, by the way. You know, but that ain't what I do. I have stood 10 toes down on business with anybody I've ever called out. That's why they hate me. Why would I back down now? Why would I hide behind a fake profile now? Why would I say the things I'm saying right now instead of behind that fake profile? It just don't make no sense. Clown show. They hate that I put in the work, that I am Mr. Consistency. I show up every day for 2 hours, and I do this show. And that I am able to make a living doing what they only wish they can make a living doing, being a content creator, being a voice that people actually care to listen to. I got to shut up. We're coming back from the break. About 15 seconds of silence. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. With that new little intro we have there that says powered by Live Better Men's Health and Wellness, it cuts me off a little sooner than I planned when I talked during the break. So I got to train myself to shut up a little sooner if I'm going to talk to the online audience during the break. But look, today was a good show. It is not the last Clay Edwards Show. Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. I hope it's not. We'll be back here tomorrow for episode 1229, and hopefully for many, many more to go as we approach 2,000 in the next couple of years. Y'all follow me online at SaveJXN, and I will see y'all back here tomorrow. Peace. All right, guys, I apologize for not getting to the comments. They're overwhelming. I wouldn't even know where to begin. But thank you all so much. We had thousands and thousands of people in this live chat room, in this live stream today. I can't wait to go look at the numbers when I get done. Unfortunately, on YouTube, other than going back and watching the live stream, there's no way to be able to go back and find the comments. The YouTube portal doesn't save the comments. At least I ain't found out how to go back and find them without having to just watch the thing. And anyway, I appreciate all your comments. Thank you all so much. Y'all have a blessed day. I appreciate the support. It means the world to me. It really does. All the messages I got last night when I put that post up, kind of teasing that I might be getting fired. Hey, you got to take advantage of the opportunity. The old, there is no such thing as bad publicity. When you get people that are morally aligned with things that you were diametrically opposed to, when those people who you do in fact hate and ain't got shit for, when they put forth the effort out of their busy schedules to come and protest you, you got to take advantage of that. I mean, I apologize to everybody in the shopping center that had to deal with them. I apologize to my coworkers that had to deal with it. But if you do what I do for a living and you go after the people that I hate politically, morally, spiritually, culturally, the way I do, and it makes them mad enough that they come out here and throw a little hissy fit during Pride Month. I mean, that was a little pride protest as far as I'm concerned. The only thing I'm mad about is they weren't waving rainbow flags and BLM fist. Because that's what I saw when I saw the videos of them was Pride and BLM out there having a little rainbow supremacy throwdown. So when you do what I do, that was like winning the Super Bowl for me. Them taking times out of their schedule to let me know that I live so rent-free in their heads that they came to where I work to have a protest. That is not a bad thing. That is a great thing. The only thing I'm mad about is there weren't more of them. They could only get 6 people that hate Clay Edwards enough to come protest me. I got to get my weight up. We got to double it next time. We got to get from 6 haters to 12 at least. We're going to double it next time. Maybe I should have helped them promote it. Because since they can't seem to draw a crowd when they do it. Y'all be blessed. Swing by the merch shop. Love y'all. Salute. Shout out to the mods. Much love to everybody. Thank y'all for allowing me to do this. Thank y'all for supporting me. I ain't ready to sign off, but I got to because got to let somebody in the studio. Y'all be blessed.